Hello everyone, Justin D. Jenkins here from the Quintessential Gentleman, and I'm down in Miami at ABFF, and today I'm speaking with the king of late night TV, or I call you the mad scientist of producing, Carlos King. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Look at you. It's good to see you in person, not on Zoom.
Finally, yeah. The last interview we had was amazing. That's when you was doing Encore.
Yes.
Which
the girls
blew
gang.
up. How excited were you when you saw the reaction to it?
It's funny because I created and developed that show for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, I was telling, I was on a panel earlier, and I was telling the audience that my testimony is God's delay is not God's denial, right? So I had this idea, and I was pitching it all over the world, and we had 2 pilots from 2 different networks. They did not pick it up. So when BET came along years later and said, this is a dope-ass idea, and we did it, and we had Keely, Shamari, Nivea, Felicia Fallon, Aubrey, Pamela, and that's it. Am I missing somebody?
Probably, but that's you.
I feel like, no, wait, let's count. Keely, Nivea, Felicia Fallon, Shamari, Aubrey, Pamela.
I feel like it was like 10 of them.
There's 2 more.
The 702 girls.
702 sisters! Yes, Irish and Misha.
There you go.
So, it was a perfect cast. And when I say Black Twitter went crazy, and the beauty of that show is it reminded the world that these women are talented. It showed that Felicia and Fallon are amazing songwriters and producers.
Yeah.
It showed how funny Nivea is.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it also showed the world that Keely ain't as bad as y'all thought she was. So, it was, when I say to you, every Wednesday night, I got on Twitter, we were always #1 trending. And it just shows you that you just don't give up.
Yeah.
That when you believe in something and you know it's meant to be, continue to try to make it happen.
Awesome. And you mentioned Twitter, Black Twitter specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ever kind of play in your head when you're producing and going into shows and how you approach how you produce now?
Yeah, I think for me, it's a matter of, that's my focus group.
Yeah.
So, listen, I'm aware that Twitter represents 22% of the world, like social media, I should say, represents 22% of the world, and that's obviously less than half of the world. But what I do know is a way for me to understand what they like and don't like, and I'm good at separating the haters from constructive criticism. So when I'm creating shows, I'm always like, okay, will this be something big on social media? I knew the Encore was going to be big.
Yeah.
I knew Love and Marriage was going to be big. So as me and the team develop shows, we're always asking ourselves, is this going to make a mark on social? Because word of mouth is still a technique that I think shows grow.
Yeah.
And Love and Marriage, Huntsville in particularly, is a show that had this small, loyal following, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew. And now, child, we're on every blog, and, you know, people can't get enough of it. Like I said earlier, I did this panel, and they were like, Melody and Martell, and it was crazy. Like, it's that show's becoming a cult following similar to like the Real Housewives, and that's been great.
That's awesome. Now, before we start talking about the nightcap and everything, you mentioned being on a panel here at ABFF.
Yes.
And you also say that you were the only like unscripted person there. So what does that mean, and what does that say for your career that you were invited to come on this panel when, you know, reality TV sometimes get a bad rap and the people that kind of make the magic happen?
Come on, man. You're so good. That's good. Sorry, I had a little, you know, moment. That was a good question. And the way you asked it too. Okay, so for me, it shows that I have made my mark in reality TV and unscripted. And I do want to be the face of Black unscripted. I've always told people I left the Real Housewives of Atlanta because I wanted to start my own production company and create and produce shows for Black people that I felt like was very underrepresented when I was just a producer on that show.
Yeah.
I wanted to show couples. I kept saying to people like, Black men have such an opinion. And you guys aren't showing that on these other shows, right? Now you see black men with a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I think we all know that black men, straight or gay, we talk.
Yeah.
And we have an opinion.
Yeah.
And I wanted to create shows where the men were at the forefront too.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't just like, oh, I'm the husband of, or the father of, like, no, I'm a man that has an opinion. And for me, I've been able to create this space to where when people see a Carlos King show, they get excited. They're like, this shit about to be juicy and funny and hilarious, but it's also going to be groundbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, for me to have a show on Netflix called Styling Hollywood that features a gay black couple, Jason Bolden and a Derek Curtis. You know, as a gay black man, that's my proudest achievement because that show is seen on a platform that reaches 190 countries.
Yeah.
So for me, it doesn't matter how well the show did in the United States. I know that little black gay boys from all over the world are able to see Jason and Adair and say like, oh my God, I get to be that? Yeah. Like I've never seen a black gay couple love each other and live this lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like they're fabulous. And they rub elbows with these celebrities and they're good people. Because the thing about being a gay black man on reality TV, oftentimes we're the sassy sidekick, we're the hairdresser, we're the glam team, you know, child, let's not talk about what happened recently, but sometimes the messy assistant. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I wanted to show that we have other things going on.
Yeah. That's awesome. You touched on something about, we're going to come back to it when it comes to black men and reality TV. But before then, we can talk about the Nightcap.
Yes.
Your own late night talk show. Talk to me, what does it mean being a black man in late night TV? Because there hasn't been many.
No, and it's funny, someone said to me like, you're the first openly gay black man doing late night.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I never thought about that. Like, that's pretty dope. So it's a blessing and it's a privilege to be able to invite people into my world and have those same people invite me into their homes. Because what we do know, honey, is we like to go to the club on a Saturday, right? So the fact that I'm asking people, like, before you hit the bottle, do me a favor, stay home, watch Love and Marriage franchise, Huntsville and DC, stay tuned to the Nightcap with Carlos King, and then at 10:30 go to the club. Or just stay home and go to church the next day. So it's fun because I'm able to just be the voice of black culture as it relates to unscripted. And I was talking to people earlier today, and what I was saying to them was, you know, I was so sad to see Wendy Williams' show end today. And how she created a platform so that black entertainers in reality, athletes, musicians, actors, who don't get the same press from their white counterparts. She invited them onto the purple couch. And she allowed them to promote their businesses and their shows. We no longer will have that in daytime. And I want the Nightcap with Carlos King to pick up where she left off in terms of getting those same stars to come on my show. Because my show is for the culture. And I want people to watch it and to get the black experience and to have fun. It's juicy, it's messy, it's everything you expect from Carlos King. And I'm really having the time of my life doing it.
And you can tell you are. But so why was late night the next step in your career?
You know what's so funny? I never thought I'll have a late night show. I promise you, I was 12 years old watching Oprah and Montel Williams, which you're too young to know.
I know who Montel Williams is.
Okay, fine. I was watching them, and it's funny because I said, oh, maybe I'll have like my own daytime talk show. I always had that in the back of my mind. So I never saw late night. And what's good about that is it's all God's design of saying like, I'm going to take you places you can't even imagine. So I allowed myself to be present. So when the idea came to me, I was like, oh, let's give this a try. And when
the idea came to you, you didn't pitch?
No, like it was a conversation between the network and I.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay. Cool. My whole life is always like, oh, all right. Which is good because you never want to block something that you didn't think of. You know, that's God's hand in it. Right? And God's job is to surprise you. Right? So that was a big surprise for me. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And then the first shoot day, we taped 2 episodes, and everyone said, this doesn't feel like a show that taped its first episode. And it's because I was having fun doing it. And then it hit me. I said, I get to be racy.
Yeah.
This is late night. I get to be like whimsical. I get to be me.
Yeah.
Not that I can't be me in daytime, but daytime is very structured in a very different way. And then Cannon did an interview with somebody after his show got canceled, and he mentioned how he was disappointed in the fact that he allowed the producers to make him something he wasn't. He said that his daytime talk show, he wasn't allowed to be himself.
Yeah.
Because they said when you're in daytime, you have to be in this box.
Right.
So I'm blessed and fortunate that the one thing OWN said to me, this is so true, they said, make the set and make this show you.
That's awesome.
We want this to be you.
Yeah.
The way people get excited when you talk to them and when you call them, we want your show to feel that way.
Yeah.
So they said, whatever you want. They said, I want to sit, I want a DJ, I want a popcorn machine, I want like a royal like chair, I want to wear a crown, I'm the king of reality TV. And they said, if that's what you want, go and do it.
That's amazing, that's amazing. Now, so as a Black creator, especially in the reality TV show space, we see certain shows that come out. Do you ever feel responsibility when people say like, well, this is making us look bad? So when you are doing these shows, you might see some things that is like off the rails. Do you approach it in a way of, well, this is just the realness of it? Or do you feel like this is becoming too much because this is like performative in a way? Do you feel responsibility?
You know what's interesting? What's interesting is there's other shows out there that are extremely racy and performative.
Okay.
And dangerous. So I be looking like, oh, so y'all watching that?
Yeah.
Y'all can't say shit to me no more.
Gotcha.
Cause those shows,
Yeah.
and I think we know what I'm talking about, and there's no shade to them, but those are shows that I just won't ever do.
Yeah.
Because it's not me.
Gotcha.
You know, my shows are Black professionals. Think about it. Love and Marriage franchise is about Black professional couples. The Encore was about these professional musicians.
Gotcha.
Styling Hollywood is about these gay Black professional couple who does interior design and styling.
Yeah.
So everything I do, Hollywood Divas was about these professional Black actors.
Yeah.
Selling in the ATL is about these Black professional real estate agents.
Gotcha.
So I'm the guy who, like, Bell Collective is about these Black entrepreneurs, and
The list goes
don't
on.
play with me. Don't play with me. So I'm the guy that likes to advocate for the Black professional.
Okay.
And one thing I know about that is I want to inspire people to say, but it's what we all know.
Yeah.
We all have that bougie auntie
Yeah.
who may be a lawyer, work at the bank, wherever, but she dates the guy who's sketchy,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
But her life is interesting, and you're like, auntie, you still going through that? Or sis, you still going through that? Because it doesn't matter how professional you are, life still happens to you. So when you look at Melody and Martell, this beautiful looking couple who were millionaires as a couple. And to see that they dealt with infidelity, they dealt with things that are universal to the world, which is cheating and love and side chicks and, you know, babies being born out of marriages. Like, we see Wendy Williams go through that, right? As a professional talk show host.
Yeah.
That's the story I want to tell, in the sense of we can be professional and have this life, but there's always something in our lives that are so relatable to the world that when you watch it, you don't feel guilty for watching it, because I'm not a proponent on physical altercation.
Yeah.
Because in my life, I don't see people physically fighting. And although I know things happen, like we saw Will Smith slap Chris Rock, right?
I was
On America's stage. We saw 2 black men. If that happened on Love and Marriage Huntsville,
Yeah.
there would be a petition of, oh my God, your show's so ratchet.
Yeah.
But because Will Smith did it to Chris Rock on that stage, oh, but he defended his wife. I'm not here to say anything about that because that's not my life and I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's an example of that's real life.
Yeah.
And it's not a producer pushing them to do it. It's a situation that happened because of whatever he was going through at the time.
Gotcha.
So my shows are just what people are going through at that time, and although things may get messy, it's never going to be the point where it's a physical fight in every single episode where people are being thrown in sinks or punches being thrown, child, or they're being stumped and they getting hit with chairs on their backs, child. Like, that's not me, and that's why I respect others who do that, because at the end of the day, there's an audience watching that too.
There you go. And my final question, you mentioned, the black men are featured on your show. Would you ever create a show that's centered on black men? What would it be about and who would be a part of the cast?
Well, it's funny because the way I create shows is I first find the talent and then I create the show around them.
Okay.
Like when Melody Martell came to me and said, we want to do a show called No Holds Barred.
Uh-huh.
And it's about he and I, working on these homes in Huntsville. And I was like, don't know about that, girls. But I knew Melody was a star.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can make you a star, but not for that show.
Got you.
I said, so let me create something around you guys. And I created Love and Marriage. And now she's a big star.
Yeah.
Right? So I would first have to find the right cast. So I don't know what it would be, but yes, I'm definitely open to that. Because again, now that you see these black men having podcasts and they talking about Russell Wilson being a square, like black men have an opinion.
Yeah.
So I would love to do something in that space to where they're able to express more of their opinion and seeing what they go through in their lives. So we'll see.
Anyone on your radar? Just give us three. The three.
Chad Ochocinco.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if I can do three.
Okay.
But I can do. Let me not say that. I was not gonna do him. But I'll take that and run with it. But I can see a show built around Chad Ochocinco.
Oh.
I love Peter Thomas
I knew he was gonna say Peter Thomas.
from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I would love to do something with him too. So I would say Chad Ochocinco and Peter Thomas.
All right. Well, there you have it. Again, check out the Nightcap with Carlos King, the mad scientist of late night TV. You have the new spinoffs. We're waiting for the Atlanta one. We know it's coming. We already know it's coming.
Y'all want that Atlanta one so badly.
Why would you? And then get Nene up in there. There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Carlos. Enjoy Miami, and I'm sure we'll see you around.